Welcome to the LOFA CP800 and CP900 control panels. This segment will introduce the Autostart dashboard. This full-screen dashboard can be displayed by pressing the second display button. The Autostart dashboard is a quick and easy way to see the current status of the Autostart operation, as well as many of the Autostart configurations. The dashboard is made up of 7 panels, the first of which is the Start Event panel. This panel indicates the event that must be present before an Autostart operation will begin. If a start delay has been configured, the time delay will be displayed. When the event occurs, this time will count down to the beginning of the Autostart operation. In this case, the start event is when the float switches are both closed or floating, and the condition must remain true for at least 7 seconds. If the event goes away before the time delay expires, the time will reset, waiting for the start event to occur again. The second panel is the Stop Event panel. This panel indicates the event that must be present before an Autostart operation will stop. If a stop delay has been configured, the time delay will be displayed. When the event occurs, this time will count down to the ending of the Autostart operation. In this example, the stop event is when the float switches are both open or not floating, and the condition must remain true for at least 7 seconds. If the event goes away before the delay time expires, the time will reset, waiting for the stop event to occur again. The third panel is the Maintain or Cruise Control panel. This panel shows the maintain point. The panel will adjust the engine throttle to maintain the indicated level. In this setup, the maintain point is set to 65 psi. The fourth panel is the Autostart Status Control panel and indicates the current condition of the Autostart operation. The fifth panel is the Engine Status and RPM panel. In addition to the engine RPMs, this panel shows the engine status such as stopped, cranking, or running. The panel also indicates at what point the engine is in the configurable ramp profile. The sixth panel is the Start and Stop Current Conditions panel. This panel illustrates the current conditions as it relates to the start and stop events. When floats are being used for the start and stop, they are depicted on the screen with their current status. When a transducer is being used for the start and stop event, the start and stop levels are indicated by lines. These lines will scale appropriately based on the actual configured start and stop levels. The final panel is the Maintain Current Conditions panel. This panel illustrates the current condition as it relates to the maintain level. The line indicates the configured maintain level, in this case 65 psi. This line will scale appropriately based on the actual configured maintain level. In this configuration, the max level is 100 psi, and the line represents the maintain level at 65 psi. In this particular configuration, the panel is configured for a start event of closed or floating switches and to maintain a pressure of 65 psi until both float switches are open or not floating. This configuration might represent an irrigation application that draws water from a slowly filling tank. When the water is being pumped out of the tank, the discharge pressure must be maintained at 65 psi. The operation must stop once the tank is almost empty, as defined by the float switches. The following simulation will show the Autostart dashboard behavior under this configuration and scenario. Tank is full, floats go active, start delay is counting down, engine is cranked up and warming up. It is now ramping to the intermediate speed. It's pausing at the intermediate speed as pressure starts to build. It's now ramping to the run speed and seeking 65 psi. The engine RPMs will continue higher until the pressure is achieved, and then it will start throttling the RPMs appropriately to achieve the targeted 65 psi. As the operation continues, the tank starts to be depleted, and eventually the tank is empty. The stop delay is counting down, and now the engine is being ramped down to its cool down RPM. It is now cooling down for the configured time. And the engine is stopped. This concludes this video.